What is up YouTube, Sam Board here, welcome back to my channel. So today is episode 1 of a 4-part series where I'm going to be taking you through my new training split. Now it's not very often that I do change my training split, I'll run the same one for as long as possible. So this split is going to be chest, side deltoids and abs today. Tomorrow is going to be back and rear deltoids, then we're going to go into arms and side deltoids, then legs, then we rest and then we repeat. So today is obviously episode 1, I'm going to be taking you through chest and side deltoids. The reason we'll run this over and over and over again, it's going to be the same exercises in the same order, same amount of sets, same rep ranges for as long as possible. And the reason we do this is because the way we train is very progressive based. You know, muscles built through providing a novel stimulus, and we're going to do this every single session by logging our lifts and progressing every time we come in the gym. Now what a lot of people like to do is do this for a long period of time, and the second the numbers start looking a bit scary, they change their training split. But the longer you can run the same program, the more progress we're going to make, because we're going to continue to apply that novel stimulus over and over and over again. And it kind of forces that training intensity as well, because when we get to that peak number, that peak strength, we're going to be adding even a half rep or a 2.5 plate per side, and that is going to provide that novel stimulus when we come in the gym. But today is episode 1, I'm going to be running you through chest, side deltoids and a bit of abs at the end. So get comfortable guys and enjoy this video. Okay guys, so exercise number 1 is going to be a incline chest press machine. So we're going to start with the compound lifts first, purely because the main driving force towards building muscles, the main driving force towards hypertrophy is called mechanical tension, which is basically the load that we're lifting. So we're going to go for the exercises first, which we can get the most load on. So this is going to be the compound lifts. So we're going to start with that incline chest press today. As well as that, I'm really trying to bring up my top line, so I'm really enjoying the incline chest press movements at the moment. So that's going to be exercise number 1. We're going to start with a few warm-up sets and then go into 2 working sets. So the warm-up sets, we're going to do this on every single exercise, around 2 to 5 warm-up sets depending on the exercise. And with the warm-up sets, we're really not trying to cause any fatigue, we're just trying to prepare ourselves for the lift. Like we said, the way we're training is very progressive based. The working sets are going to be logged, they're going to be progressed, they're going to be PBs every time we come in the gym. So the last thing we want to do is come in the gym on a PB lift and go straight into that PB without warming up. So today, I've not done this one yet. This is the first time running through this session, so I'm not sure what I'm actually going to be doing. I'm assuming I'm going to be doing around 3 or 4 plates aside for the working set. So I've just done my first warm-up then. That is going to be with no weight, so where I literally cannot feel anything, just to get used to the movement, get a bit of blood in the muscle and feel it out. I'm now going to go 1 plate per side for 5 or 6 reps, so a weight where I can just about feel it for 5 or 6 reps. 2 plates per side, then I do 2 or 3 reps. And then depending if I'm doing 3 or 4 plates per side, if I was going into that 4 plates per side, I might do 1 rep on 3 plates per side. So like I said, we're really not trying to cause any fatigue with these warm-up sets. We're just trying to prepare ourselves for the working sets and minimize injury risk and just get a bit of blood in the muscle. Okay guys, so that's 10 reps there with 4 plates per side. So set number 1 I usually do a 5 to 10. Set number 2 is going to be in the 10 to 15 rep range. So for set number 1 there, that's the top of the rep range, which means next week I'm going to go for more weight and then add reps every session. So now I'll probably go 4.5 plates next week. Might be able to get 5 or 6 of that. Then I might get 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'll increase the weight again when I finally get 10. So this way, we're either adding reps or weight onto every single set of every exercise, every session. This is going to cause our muscles to to have that need to actually adapt and grow. Okay guys, working set number 2, so it's a reduced weight now for a higher amount of reps. Still looking to take the set to failure, but that higher amount of reps is going to increase the blood flow to the muscle. That's the secondary driving force to hypertrophy after mechanical tension, is metabolic stress and blood flow to the muscle. So first set, lower rep range, recruit all muscle fibers nice and early. Second set, reduce the weight, higher rep range, still looking to take that set to failure, but like I said, that increased amount of repetitions is going to drive more blood into the muscle and therefore produce more hypertrophy. Okay guys, so exercise number 2, we're going to go into a shoulder press variation of your choice. So we're going to do the Aladis shoulder press machine here. So again, going for the compounds first before we go into the isolation. Now the only time I would put isolation work first is going to be one, if you struggle to actually engage that muscle. So for example, if I really struggle to engage my chest, if my chest lagged and I just didn't get a connection with it, if I jump straight on the compound, then I might start with a pec deck fly first to get a bit of blood in the muscle, proper isolate it, and then when you jump onto the compound, you really feel it. Same for your shoulders. If you really struggle to engage your shoulders, then feel free to jump on a lat raise or something before you do this. But I like to start with the compounds first. Now another tip for this shoulder press though, when we are on a shoulder press, the main target of muscle is going to be our front deltoid. So the range of motion for that front deltoid is all the way up here to down there. So a lot of people really limit their range of motion by sitting 90 degrees and having it there, because the second you actually get deep, this really stops your range of motion here. Whereas if you're able to tuck your elbows in a bit, you get that extended range there and you can really lengthen the front deltoid. So I like more of a neutral grip instead of that completely pronated grip, so anywhere between a neutral and a pronated. So on this machine here, these handles are absolutely perfect. As well as that, make sure you set the starting position of the shoulder press high enough so that you don't put yourself in a compromised position. Now what I mean by this is, if you're trying to get the machine out and it's in quite a painful position in that initial start point, or when you come like fully deep, might hurt a little bit and you push through it anyway. Now over time this is going to pick up overuse injuries, and this is where people pick up a lot of niggles in their shoulders. So make sure you set the handles set the handles high enough so you can get out comfortably, or the seat low enough if that's how you adjust it on your machine. But again, we're going to go in with this now for 2 or 3 warm-up sets, and then for 2 working sets, which we're going to log and progress every time we hit this session. Set number 2 on the shoulder press now, so we're going in that higher rep range. We're going to go for reduced weight, 2 plates per side now. First set, I think we got 5.5 of 3 plates per side. So we're going to go 2 plates per side, go for a 10 to 15 rep range, and then look to progress that next week. Shoulder press done, onto a tricep press. Exercise number 3 and the last press of the day is going to be a tricep press. So I'm going to do a close grip Smith machine tricep press. The hands are going to be around the shoulder width apart. We're looking to fully lengthen that tricep and drive as much as we can through the tricep and try and limit chest and shoulder engagement. The reason I like to do a tricep press today and no tricep isolation work is because my arm day focuses hugely on isolation work. So today we're just really looking to load the tricep up with a press, which is why we're going with this. Now the range of motion on this, a lot of people really go a lot deeper than they need to. If you think how the tricep works, it literally folds that top part of your arm across the elbow joint. So when you're coming down here, as soon as you hit that point where your forearm's touching your bicep, any deeper is just shoulder. So if I was to come down here, any deeper there is not my tricep, and all it's doing is it's pulling a lot of your shoulder joint in there. It can actually cause a lot of injuries as well. To really make sure that you actually stop when your tricep is fully lengthened and in a comfortable position for you. Again, we're going to do a couple warm-ups on this now and then go into 2 working sets. Yes, nice. Okay guys, so set number 2 on the tricep press now. Got 6 on 2.5 plates per side, so we're going to drop to around 2 plates per side and go for 10-ish reps. Obviously as many as they can get, but we're aiming for that 10 to 15 rep range again. There we go, and that's the compounds done for the day, so that's all the hard work done. We've now got a load of isolation work for side deltoids and pecs as well, and then a bit of abs to finish. Okay guys, so exercise number 4, we're going to go on to a side raise variation. So we're going to do 2 side deltoid movements today. Now I like to stick to either machine or cable variations just because it provides a much more even strength curve, which means we can load the side deltoid for the full range of motion. So when you jump on like free weights and you go to do a side raise, very uneven strength curve, there's minimal resistance down at that bottom range. When we're at that top range there, the resistance is huge in comparison. So what will happen is you end up burning out at the top, and you'll be able to do a load of half reps here. So it's very inefficient. We can't load the side deltoid for the full range of motion. So stick with the machines and cable variations are going to provide obviously that much more even strength curve across the full range of motion. Now these machines can be hit and miss. Some of them feel good, some of them don't. I've not used either of these today before, so they might be absolutely shit. I might not connect with them, and if they are, then I'll probably stick to cables, but we'll see how I get on today. Couple warm-ups on this as well, feel it out, get used to the movement, and then into 2 working sets. See, this is just one of those movements that I just don't connect with, so like I said, these side raise machines can be quite hit and miss, so I'm not going to run this one today. Probably going to try the other one behind and then a cable variation as the second one. Because yeah, like I said, some things feel good, some things don't. That just did not feel like I connected on my side delt at all. And you might find that with your machines as well, and if that's the case, stick to cables. Alright, attempt number 2. Try a different side raise machine. Again, might feel good, might not. And that's another thing guys, just because that machine doesn't feel right for me, it might feel absolutely perfect for you. So everyone's an individual, everyone's different, everyone connects better with different movements. So there isn't a single exercise, in my opinion, for any muscle group that is the best exercise. You know, something that can be absolutely perfect for somebody might just be absolutely fucking terrible for you. So just find what works for you, find what you connect best with, what you can progress well, and they're the best exercises for you. Okay guys, so set number 2 on this one now. Now one thing that you should be trying to do when you're targeting your side deltoids is, instead of having your arms directly out to the side of you here, you want to be having them just in front and coming out more to like that range there. And that's going to allow you to really target the side deltoid. If you really keep your arms by your side and come up here, all that happens is we get a lot of trap engagement, which is going to take the tension off the side deltoid. As we know, the main driving force for hypertrophy is mechanical tension. So we want as much tension as possible in the muscle we're trying to target. So keeping your hands just in front. So in this, I'm going to have my elbows a bit forward on the pad so that when I come up, I'm not directly 90 degrees by my side, I'm slightly in front. And that's going to allow me to really isolate my side deltoid. Alright guys, so exercise number 2 for our side deltoids is going to be a cable crossbody side raise. We're going to be using cuffs on our wrists here because this is going to eliminate that extra joint there. When you think how your side deltoid actually works, it just pulls this part of your arm above that kind of rotator cuff on your shoulder. So everything else is just like handles for the, think of it as just handles for the weight to kind of pass through. And as much of that we can eliminate as possible, the better connection we're going to get with our side deltoid. So I'm going to use cuffs around my wrist to eliminate that wrist joint there. The other thing that I like to think about doing when I'm doing a side deltoid movement, which really helps me engage my side deltoids, is instead of thinking about pulling the weight up, think about pushing the weight to the ground and pushing it away from you. So pushing it away from you, obviously your arm's still naturally going to come up, but by having that thought in my head, it allows me to really keep my traps out of the movement. If you're thinking of pulling up, then straight away trap engages and it's going to take a lot of the tension off the side deltoid again. So think about pushing the weight down to the ground like you're rolling the weight along the floor and pushing out and away from you. That's going to really help you isolate your side deltoid. So on this one guys, we're actually going to do 3 sets rather than 2. The reason being is just because smaller muscles like our side deltoids can handle a hell of a lot more volume and recover. So you'll see I'm actually training deltoids again in 2 days, so on my arm day, and then it'll be 3 days before I train it again on this push day again. So I'm hitting them very frequently, really trying to bring up my side deltoids at the moment. That's something that hugely lacks for me alongside my arms as well. So they're 2 muscle groups I'm really trying to target. And like I said, the smaller muscle groups can just handle so much more volume and they just seem to recover really well. Whereas if I was to batter my chest with a load of chest compound movements, you know, I might not be able to train my chest for 7 to 10 days, which is really, really counterproductive. So we're fine running 3 sets on this. And I think I'm actually going to extend the 3rd set with an intensifier as well, which is going to be a DC rest pause or a drop set. Always bring a pump cover, guys. Always. Right, we're going to extend this set with a DC rest pause. So we're going to wait around 25 to 30 seconds, or about 10 big breaths. I prefer counting my breaths. Not really have to count them now when I'm talking, but about 25 to 30 seconds. And then we're going to go again on the same weight, take it to a second failure point to get as many reps as we can get. We might only get 2 or 3 reps here, but it's just causing a bit of extra muscle damage. And like I said, the side deltoids can handle a hell of a lot of volume, so you should be fine with your recovery. That side delt's done for the day. We're now going to go on to a chest isolation movement and then finish with those abs. So now onto our chest isolation movement. So today that's going to be a pec deck fly for me. The first, guys, to set up on this, set it up where you're comfortable in your range of motion. So a lot of people will be able to go a lot further back than you. You know, I'm stiff as hell. There's some people who can literally clap their hands behind their back. That is not me. I cannot get that far back. And if I set this in a position where I am going to pull myself back there, it's the same as that shoulder press instance. You know, you're setting yourself up in a compromised position. You're going to pick up a lot of overuse injuries over time. We're going to pick up a lot of niggles in our shoulders and that rotator cuff there. So set this to a place where you're very comfortable going back to, but you can still get full range of motion on your chest. And this is going to be very individual based, very different for everyone. But this is our final chest movement of the day. We've obviously done the compounds, even the shoulder compound, the tricep compound, that all tags chest in, and this is just to get a lot of blood in there and just finish the chest off. And I like to be seated with a back support, so even if I'm not on a pec deck fly, if I'm on a cable fly, I like to set it up with a seat and a back support, stabilize everything, just so everything's going for the same range of motion, everything's stable, everything's on my chest instead of adding momentum to movement and swinging. And then you know when you're adding reps or when you're adding load, you actually are progressing with your chest, and your chest is actually going to grow from that movement. Slight arch in your back as well, guys, to keep your shoulders out of it. And then another thing I like to think of doing as well, because my shoulders are a bit dodgy, I've got to play around to kind of get that movement right. This works for me, it might not work for you, but as I come into that shortened range, I move the load onto the lower half of my hand. And that kind of shifts the pressure out of my front deltoids, out of that rotator cuff, and a lot more onto my chest. I find that if I was to go put the weight more in the upper part of my hand, a lot more shoulder steps in there. So keeping your chest back, and obviously fly, and then I put a lot more of the load into that bottom part of my hand as I come into that short position.
Give me a look.
Working set number 1, so I've only done 1 warm-up set on this. Pretty warm already from the rest of the workout. Chest is already full of blood. and there's going to be a higher rep range as well, so we're a bit more safe for this movement. That's 11 reps for the first set. So like I said, we're going a higher rep range on this now, just because the main focus of this movement, we've already fucking cooked our chest, but we're really just looking to push as much blood as we can into the muscle now. But obviously the more amount of repetitions we can do, the more we're going to get that blood flow to the muscle. So we work in a higher rep range later on in the workout for these isolation movements. Set number 2, we're going to extend with a drop set as well. Okay guys, so final exercise of the day, we're going to go on to an ab cable crunch. Now, I like to treat abs like any other muscle. We're looking to stick in the rep range, log our lifts, progress and grow. We're not going to go to any circuit bullshit. You know, they're still a muscle, they still need that novel stimulus to grow. So I'd like to do 2 sets on a cable crunch today, and then 2 sets on a leg raise on another day. So the cable crunch, any crunch movement from the top is going to engage our top 4 abs, and a leg raise is going to engage our bottom 2. So 2 sets on this now, we log our lifts, we look to progress, provide that novel stimulus, and that's how we're going to grow our abs, not with any silly little circuits. So guys, that is the end of my chest, shoulders and abs workout. So like I said, I'm going to run that same workout over and over and over again when I do hit that day. So obviously it's a full day split. We're going to do the other 3 workouts, rest, and then we go straight back into this one and look to progress and beat every single number. But excited to take you guys along this 4-part series, so I'll see you in the next video. If you guys enjoyed this, obviously make sure you hit that like button, and I got plenty more content coming just like this, so hit that subscribe button as well so you don't miss out. Cheers guys.